Commissioner Vaughn,
Present.
Commissioner Milliken,
Here.
Commissioner Prater,
Present.
Commissioner Bowles. Here. Mayor Forrest.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
Yeah, I'm here. And he's here. We're talking about, somebody's gonna buy us one of those things, we just don't have the money to buy it
Well,
ourselves.
rumor is that the mayor was gonna treat us.
I said, that sounds like
And the
a
commissioner
plan.
was gonna-
I don't even have one.
You can get your one.
City attorney's report.
All I have is that the minutes from the regular meeting and special call meeting have been read.
Okay. Municipal Order 2013-15, approval of the minutes of a regular meeting held on Monday, January 28, 2013. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by David, I need a second.
Second.
Second by Bill. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Prater,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowles.
Abstain.
Mayor Forrest.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013-16, approval of the minutes of a special call meeting held on Monday, February the 11th, 2013. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
David, second by Martha. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Prater,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowles.
Yes.
Mayor Forrest.
Okay, we're gonna slip over because JL will be here a little bit later. Budget review. Anybody got anything?
Well, I'd like to hear from Lisa
Okay.
about how we're doing.
Overall, we should be at 58%, and after the adjustments, we're let's see, we're at 57, and this is the expenses. So, we're not doing too bad. 57 in the general fund and 54, almost 54 in the utility fund. So we're doing okay.
I had
You have a question there?
Overall.
Yeah,
Okay.
you said adjustments, what adjustments were you?
Well, I do the adjustments for the, because we pay the insurance the first of the year, and I adjust that out, monthly. And
Yeah.
the other bulk bills that we pay, like the fire department, we pay that 50,000 out, so I got to do an adjustment for that.
On page 8, I think I know the answer to this question, under line 5316, we had 50,000 budgeted for Gunny's volunteer fire, and we paid that out.
We paid it
I
out.
assume that's what we paid out in November,
Yes,
and thus we have nothing in the budget at this moment for, obviously, for the next year.
No.
Why we're
And we don't
showing
need
zero.
it.
right,
We
because
don't need
we
it.
just
I
pay it
understand
once a
that,
year.
I'm just
Yeah,
asking
right,
procedurally
right.
if that's what
Yeah.
we're doing.
And that's one of the things she backs out.
Yeah, that's one of the
I understand.
adjustments I did, so, yes, that's why there's nothing left, because we will not pay it again until the next fiscal year, if it's passed in the budget.
Just to make a note that our salaries in the police department are running at 73.31% against 58% of time elapsed. And if you do a straight line projection, Terry, you're gonna come in at about 125% of your budget. I continue to be concerned about that. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
I just want to bring to your attention, and I asked Lisa, of course, I wasn't involved in the budget, but on page 2, 1127, business license, $20,000 for revenue. That means we have to have 400 business licenses sold. I don't know where that figure came from, but we're gonna try to meet it, but anybody that sees anybody doing business in the city of Fulton, it's your obligation to not either go up to them and ask if they have a business license, or come down here and give Helen their name and address. Because if they're doing business in the city, they should have
We
a
wouldn't have
business
come up with that
license.
number out of thin air. I mean, that had to been somewhere, I mean,
I'm just,
I agree with you, sounds like it's
You know,
outrageous.
What was
but-
it last year?
I marked that,
It's
we're
been
only
the
running at
Has it been the
34%.
It has been,
Um,
and as I told him, I'm thinking that we had left the 20 in there, and I should have checked it, and I'm thinking, he asked me to check it, and I forgot until just now when he brought it up again, so I did not check it. So I'm gonna look at that and see
But
why. But I think what happened is it was in there and we didn't
Change.
change it.
How much was in?
So what
what
was
are you
it, how
trying
many
to say?
business licenses we sent
I'm
last
thinking
year?
it's over, it's too high is what I'm thinking, is what I'm
You're
thinking.
saying the budget number's too high.
I think it is, yes. I think somehow that one
It's
didn't get
20,000.
checked. I think it was in there and that somehow, because the budget was so screwed as it was, I don't think that
But
got lowered back down.
if you think back several months ago, we went with data design, a new program, so we can build a database for the taxes as well as business license. So at the end of this year, we're gonna go January through December as the year for business license, and when they get their tax bill, they're also gonna get a business license bill, and if it's not paid by a certain date, there will be a penalty
Makes
assessed.
sense.
So they will get something in hand. I mean, it's just something we've got to organize and create, and because it's only put in the paper one time.
And I had, I'm gonna interrupt you because on the same thing, I had somebody complain to me that, about not knowing they had to pay for their occupational license because it was on their bill this year, okay? And the reminder was on their electric bill, and so that,
No,
on
gas
the
and
gas
water.
bill, and gas and water bill, excuse me, and it was automatically coming out of the, you know, out of their checking account. So.
No, that was just a comment.
No, it's just a
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, that was the only reminder they got, and then they were complaining about the fact that they heard from Terry.
Well, and that's what I've given the police force to do, is we give them a list every Tuesday for the people who have not paid, and ask them to give them a friendly phone call and remind them that their business license is due. That's all we've got to go with right now. I mean, and we're doing it as cordially as possible, and, you know, Benita's had it in the paper, it's been on the Kentucky KY News and discussed, you know, in these meetings, so it's a work in progress. But we're gonna, you know, I'd love to meet that goal. I just want to let you all know, I don't know where it came from.
While we're on that page, look at line 1164, state grants. We budgeted 28,250, and we've received 10,000, or 35% of that. I guess, just help me understand that, what that is.
20,000 of that is what the pad office said we're gonna get for those houses. And then 8,250 is what, it's a state incentive or state grant that we get for the fire department, for state aid it's called, and that's actually already been spent. And we have actually received all the 8,250, so that other little bit is probably the pad money. I mean, I can double check, but, because they sent me a number and I entered it last month.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else? Vouchers review. Anything on the vouchers we need to check?
I know it's a late fee on the Walmart credit card.
There was, I got some of the tickets late, can't pay until I get them.
And that will be addressed.
Thank you.
No need for late fees.
Okay. Strategic plan discussion. David?
I would like to give it a couple more reasons, Mayor, if you'd like to go other directions.
Okay, well, I've talked to Allison and she said we've got to do it by ordinance if we're gonna set up another.
Well, once you determine the structure of the committee, we will need to do it. If we're gonna implement another committee, it will need to be by ordinance, ma'am. I don't foresee it being terribly complicated, but
Yeah, well,
I do think that's
what we
something that
need to
will happen.
clarify. It was unclear when we talked about it before.
All of our other committees, that we have that serve under the city are all, they're all done by city ordinance.
Okay. You gonna have that ready next time or whatever? If that's what we need to do, is that the, or what we need to do?
Well, you need to give me some instruction on how the committee is going to be formed, how many members you're envisioning sitting on this committee, and
Well, we're currently talking about a chairman at this point, so I think that, why don't we find this chairman and then we come to you about how we want to meet with the chairman and go along with.
I'm just gonna need some details. You know, we talked about staggered terms, we
Okay.
talked about, but I need to structure it
Okay.
with that information in there.
Now, is this gonna be a committee or board? What's the difference between the two?
Well, we've had both in the past. Statutorily, I don't know if it defines a difference in it. I'll take a look at it, but we've had both. And technically, I haven't seen how the committee versus the board serves. I don't know that they're, you know, they both served in fairly the same capacity, except they've just been called something different. So I'll take a look at it in the statute to make sure that there's not any specifics that have to be followed versus a committee versus a board, but, I don't think that'll be any type of issue for us.
Okay. JL, since you're here, we'll back up and let you do your thing.
Sorry for being late.
That's okay.
How's everybody tonight?
Just fine, thank you.
Good, good. I called and talked to Helen, or stopped talking to Helen this, last week, and called and talked to Cub today. I hope, I don't know, I really hope that we're down to the wire on getting this thing advertised. I need to get with Allison after I get the final draft done, and let her look at it, because there are some federal guidelines and there's some things that are in here that I put in here that specifically pertains to the city/county. There are designations, and I want to be sure that we're covered on all of it before we put the advertisement out to bid.
You're talking about the FEMA fire grant?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What I would like to do, and I think you all have already authorized it, but I would like for you all to authorize Cub and I to, when we get Allison's okay on this, to advertise for these radio and communications equipment. And I talked to Helen. There is probably gonna be approximately 25 pages in the bid packet. And if we can do a small brochure or a small advertisement in the paper, and Helen, I did send that to you again this afternoon, I don't know if you got it or not. If we can do the small advertisement in the paper for like a couple times, and the time period be about 30 days before the bids are required to be submitted, then it will cut down on cost considerably. Hopefully, Helen's gonna get a price on what I sent her this afternoon, which I have no idea. And that was another discussion that we wanted to talk about. Where do we want to advertise these? You wanna leave that up to us?
Well, it won't be just local, because
No.
you can't reach the people that have the merchandise that we need, so you're looking at Louisville probably, Memphis, I don't.
The other grant was advertised in the Louisville paper. And I don't know how many times was it advertised, Helen, do you know, do you remember?
I think we read it once due to the cost.
Once? Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
I
But
would
those
make sure-
companies have people, that's why they read the paper for them.
Yes.
Just looking for
Yes.
bids.
And they will pick it up in like the Paducah paper and some of the larger papers that we have around here. But, and that's strictly up to you all. I'm not, with this size of grant, we need to be sure that we get it out.
Okay.
I need some direction on that.
Okay, so what you're asking is that we allow you and Cub to, when you get everything together and talk to Allison and get it all together, to go ahead and advertise for this FEMA grant,
Yes, ma'am.
5 grand. Is that good? So we need a,
What is it that we're purchasing? We're advertising for a grant, or we're advertising for radio?
No, so we're advertising, if you remember, I brought you
I do.
a packet.
I do
And
remember.
tried to outline
Yes.
all of this. And since we were doing central dispatch, I came back and told you that we had put everything on hold, trying to simplify things. During that process, we had, the original plan was set up for us to do a voted repeater system for the whole county. And after looking at what we have and what we need to do, we have tried to set up a repeated voted simulcast system. I know it's layman's terms for an easy way to try to transfer it back and forth, transfer the voice signal back and forth. That is probably a little higher in price, but it does a much better job. I have written and requested the amendment to the grant to be able to do that. That was approved, and we have since then tried to sit down and put the material to the paper. It will be equipment, and should be equipment in Fulton, should be equipment in Casey, should be equipment in Hickman, along with 57 radios, that are 57 walkies that will be distributed throughout the county, and also 27 mobiles that will be distributed. And we've already got those numbers designated, who's getting what, or somewhere in that vicinity.
Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
And anything, I might not be clear enough on some of it, but ask me, I'm more than happy to try to explain it to you.
Well, I just want to make sure we're clear on terms.
Yes.
Because the agenda says you're going to update us on the grant. And the mayor says we're going to advertise for a grant.
We're not going- we're going
You're
for
telling me we're
bids.
going to advertise for radios. I just want to make sure we're
Bids
talking
is what-
about the
Okay.
same thing.
Well, there might be a little bit of,
I'm with you.
okay,
I'd say we just need to do the municipal order to authorize for bids, for bids to be taken on equipment, to be purchased pursuant to the guidelines of the fire, of the
FEMA fire grant.
now, the advertisement that I sent her, which I emailed it to her this afternoon, has the fire grant number and has all of that information
Okay.
included in it, does not have the amount. You cannot advertise the amount that you receive, but it does have the fire grant number, and anybody that reads it can go on the FEMA website and pull it up and tell what it is. And that's, like Cub said, that's what a lot of companies do, that's
That's what I
all
was
they do.
thinking, rather than having to advertise a whole bunch. A lot of these people go on FEMA websites and pick all this up, don't they?
Yes, ma'am, but we have got to advertise it according to our procurement code.
Okay.
Your procurement code has to be advertised as such.
Can we put that on our website, Dale?
You can put it on, but that's not considered
In
a
addition
single
to-
means of
But
advertising.
in addition to the paper,
Yes.
which would reach a whole lot more
Yes,
people. But
yes.
we gotta meet the requirement.
And you're talking about advertising in a publication distribution other than our local paper?
Yes.
You mean in addition to our local paper, or?
In addition to what newspapers we decide to run the publication in, the advertisement, put it on our website as well. Just as because more people are going.
For the amount of the grant, I think for your all's benefit, it needs to be advertised as much as,
It's a good thing too, why not advertise?
yes, ma'am. Needs to be advertised as much as possible because.
But you're not saying anything more than the Courier as far as, I mean, what Cub said would be fine too, but we're not talking about another national publication like the Journal or something other than that. I mean, you're saying that'll suffice
I'm saying,
paying
I'm
for
saying
Courier
for our
Journal.
benefit, for your benefit, you need to advertise it more than the Hickman Courier and the Fulton Leader.
Absolutely, but I was
It
saying,
needs to be
the Courier
broadcast.
Journal ought to be good.
Yes.
We don't need to go to USA Today or
Oh, no,
Wall Street
no,
Journal
no,
or something
no.
like that, okay.
There are people that will, when you put it in a big paper, like the Louisville Times Courier Journal or something like that, there will be people that will pick it up.
Okay. I just want to make sure that would suffice.
Yes, yes.
You got that municipal order that Allison,
Yes, I did. Yes, sir. 2013-19 is next municipal order number.
okay.
And I would like to, before y'all vote, I'd like to get this wound up sometimes this week or possibly by next week so we can get it advertised. And I'm gonna have knee surgery the 18th of March, so I'm gonna be out for a day or so.
That's the deadline. Dale.
That's the deadline.
Well, 30 days after March 18th will be fine. That is perfectly good for the bids to be in, but I just wanna, there's gonna be a time frame in there that I'm not gonna be able to deal with it, with much of this stuff.
So y'all can set that when you get all your stuff together, as to the timeline as to how, when you want this in.
So that's what I'm asking, for us to be able to work those
Right.
details out
Right.
with y'all's approval
Right.
and go ahead and do it, if it be before the next committee meeting.
Alex, would you repeat what you said? Municipal Order 2013-19?
To authorize the city manager, to advertise for bids, the purchase of equipment pursuant to the FEMA fire grant guidelines and regulations.
Okay. All right.
Do you need to say communications equipment?
I'm trying to leave it broad enough.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I thought
Equipment covers a large area.
you're the attorney.
Okay, we need a motion to that effect.
I'll move.
Motion by Jeff, I need a second.
Second.
Second by David. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Yes.
Commissioner Middleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Prater,
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes. Thanks,
Thank you.
JL.
Thank you, Jail.
Give me a call.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Municipal Order 2013-17 to accept a bid from Stephen Goodman for city meter reading contract. I think you have, what do you date on your iPad or, you hadn't figured it out yet?
It's down past the, pretty
Okay.
far down on,
Bill and I got paper so we can see
And I
it.
was telling you I'm out of range, but that's another story.
Okay, you wanna talk about this,
We received 2 bids for the next year's meter reading, and Stevens was the lowest bid. That's all we did. I would recommend that we accept this, but I would also, on the conditions and terms of the contract, I'd like to sit down and change the terms on his current contract to address some items that have transpired, or to just, just kind of clean it up a little bit, maybe make it more, conducive with what we need for our customers.
what we expect.
Right.
We want to make that then to accept the bid, conditioned upon a contract modification agreement being reached.
It's nothing major, and I haven't talked to Steve because we haven't accepted this bid officially.
When do we have to,
February 1st, I believe.
say that again?
February 1st, Stephen.
So how much you been working for us this month?
I'll take that into consideration, if the recommendation changes.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion that we accept Stephen's, contract for, Stephen Goodman for reading the meters upon the conditions of the contract modification by the city manager.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Yes.
Commissioner Middleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Prater.
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013-18 to accept Johnny Smith's resignation from the police department. You know that Johnny has left us. I have his letter of resignation here. This will be my letter of resignation from the Fulton Police Department. I have accepted a job with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office starting on March 1st, 2013. My last day to work with the city of Fulton will be February 23rd, 2013. I would like to take time to thank you for the opportunities which you have given me and the knowledge which you have bestowed upon me. I am accepting this job to better myself and my family, but again, thank you for all you and the city of Fulton have done for me and my family. I have enjoyed working with all the officers and can hope to continue helping you, them, and the city of Fulton. Johnny Smith. Hate to see Johnny go, I understand. I need a motion that we, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
I want to accept his resignation. Oh. Go ahead, Bill.
I was gonna ask, is this standard procedure that the commission act on a resignation? It's our
Yes.
responsibility to do
Yes.
this?
Yes.
I guess I would ask the same question then, why don't we do that when we advertise for policeman position in the paper?
I'm not understanding.
We've advertised for a police officer position in the paper,
Okay,
but this body has never discussed it, never talked about it, never debated.
If you
And
read,
so,
if you
I'd
read
like
the
to know-
KRS, I have the authority to do that, but I do not have the authority to hire without y'all's blessing. And we have not gotten to that point yet. And
So
we're
what's
gonna
the point of
discuss
advertising if we're not gonna hire somebody?
time? Since we only have a weekly newspaper,
I think it's a poor way of doing business, and I want the record to show that we sit here and we talk about this body having to act to accept someone's resignation, but this body does not have to debate, talk, or even discuss the idea of hiring a policeman. And I don't agree with that. I think it's unprofessional.
you need to change the ordinance, Bill.
I beg your
You
pardon?
need to change the ordinance, it states that.
Then we ought to change it.
I mean, I'm just going by what I've got to work with.
It's never been discussed at this meeting, this body. I'm not saying I would disagree with it. I might. Right now, I do.
Well, I mean, that's
But,
your
That's your right.
We're talking about accepting the resignation, or are we talking about hiring?
well, there's been an ad for a part-time in the paper, which he can do the way everything's
Okay.
written right now. Is that correct,
Okay.
Allison?
That's my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And when that's filled, chief will bring it to us, correct?
It'd have to be
Okay.
approved, yes.
Right.
I normally will come to you with whoever the applicant is after interviews, and
Right.
I will bring.
With
it to you
recommendation.
For recommendation to hire.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that seems to be backwards to me. I mean, someone has taken the authority to go to the point of putting together a job, saying what it is, saying what the requirements are. We've advertised for it. We're going to accept applications, and then we're going to talk about whether or not we're going to hire somebody. That seems to be a little bit backwards. Seems to me like we ought to make the decision whether we're going to hire somebody or not, and why we are or why we are not, and then let's look at the candidates, if we decide.
You need to change the city manager's job description then, Bill.
Well, that suits me fine.
Because if I've got to come before this commission to do what I'm supposed to do, before I do it, I mean, we might as well do that, but that's what it plainly states, and I was acting on procedure. Not permission, but procedure. So, that's what y'all need to decide.
So
What y'all
why do we
do.
need to accept the resignation? I mean, I'm not having.
I mean, that's why I brought it up.
Resignation. It has nothing to do with the resignation, he's just talking about the fact that the ad was running.
All right.
Well, that was kind of, I think he said because to save time, because we don't have an officer and we're gonna be paying a whole bunch of overtime.
We don't know if we're gonna find anybody either.
I mean,
We don't know if y'all gonna approve if we do find somebody.
Well, we won't get into overtime, but I could, if we were to debate filling the job, we'd have to talk about that. I guess I think we're penny wise and pound foolish. We sit here and the whole commission has to take time to approve a resignation. The young man is going to resign whether we approve it or not. And
that's just.
so we approve it,
It's
and
just
then we
procedure.
don't even get to discuss the idea of whether we're gonna put someone else on staff or not. I just think it's backwards, that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Awkward, it's awkward.
Indeed it is.
okay, can we have a motion to accept Johnny's
I'll move.
resignation? My Martha, I need a second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bond,
Yes.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Val,
Yes.
Mayor Foster.
Yes. Okay. Does anybody say anything else about anything else until they brought anything to us? Okay. Second reading of City Ordinance 2013-03, amending City Ordinance 2013-03 to change the commission meeting date to the second and fourth Mondays of each month.
And Helen, just so you
Did I give
know,
you the right one?
well, the copy I have says 2012-03
Yeah.
at the top.
You see, I got that one.
I got it on my desk.
Here, well, it's the same thing, just
Did you
change
get
the date.
2013 on yours?
No, it's 2012-03.
Okay, so you
What's
should
yours got,
change
Bill?
the heading. It looks like
2012-03.
So my-
it just needs to be 2013.
That's all that needs to be changed.
An ordinance of the City of Fulton, Kentucky, amending section 2-51 of the Code of Ordinances to change regular city commission meeting dates to once a month meeting. Be it hereby ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fulton, Kentucky as follows, to wit, Section 1A, that Section 2-51 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Fulton, Kentucky, i.e. time and dates of regular meetings, is hereby amended to read as follows. The regular meeting time and date for the Board of Commissioners is hereby set and established to be on the second and fourth Monday of each month at the hour of 5:45 p.m. If the regular meeting is the same day that is recognized as a holiday, then that regular meeting will be canceled and conducted on the following Tuesday at the same time and will be conducted as a regular meeting. Section 2, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect on and after its adoption, approval, and publication is required by law.
Okay, this is the second reading, February 25th, 2013. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Martha. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Prater.
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd.
Yes.
Mayor Forrest.
Yes, so we're going back to second and fourth Mondays. We're back to our old schedule one more time.
Y'all had vacation for a little while.
Well, not really.
No, not really.
Not really, because we were in and out all the time. Okay, other business. Any guests, okay? Anybody here got anything to say? You have anything, Cub? Okay.
I guess this falls under, well, it could fall under strategic plan. It hadn't been brought up tonight, but code enforcement, there's always discussion about where we stand, what we're doing, and we've kept on the rest of everything that's going on. We feel that we're at a point, and again, Bill, based on the timing, I've got notes here to bring up about a part-time code enforcement officer.
Okay.
And, with unexpected resignation, the timing wasn't like it is on this, but with discussion with Mike and where we stand on what we've gotten past so far with code enforcement, international policy and everything, we've got to do two things now. We've got to go back to the people that we talked to about being on the code enforcement board. We know more now than what we did then on what's required of those individuals. And we're gonna go to them and explain what they're gonna have to, what they're going to do and how they're gonna do it. And we can begin some of our code enforcement. And we think that as the timing is, and how long it'll take to advertise and then interview and then get a person in place, that we're ready for a part-time person. And that'd be about 23, 24 hours a week, who could also learn as we go. As they're starting, there's some classes, late March, maybe?
We're actually going in.
You and Terry are already
Terry and I are
going.
going next week, but there's a building inspector and the things that go along with code enforcement that are gonna come up throughout the next 2 to 3 months.
But as things come up, we'll have someone, what we hope is a person that will grow with this. And whether it be, of course, we gotta start out part-time, and then if it grows into full-time, we could look at that into next year's budget. But, and we'd also like to come back and address the software issue that, the presentation that Chief Gunn made a couple of months ago on being able to get that, purchase that, get trained on that, and get that implemented so we could track what we do as we grow and serve the citizens the way that they need to be served. And so those are some, I guess, I'd like to request that we advertise for a part-time code enforcement officer.
Okay.
And how much you thinking paying us? But we have the code enforcement money budget.
Right. I haven't,
Yes, ma'am.
I haven't made a decision on that. Figured y'all would have some input into that. Of course, the person's got to have good computer skills, good you could,
Gunny's the only one's got computer skills.
Interpersonal skills, and they can also, understand the legalese.
A good bit of building, we still like doing, getting documents in place, getting procedures in place. If we can get this person down on the front end, it'll be a lot easier training them as we go, kind of helping me get this stuff done. There's at least that much work, 24-hour-a-week worth of work that could be done. Getting the documents in place, we gotta get the board in place, we gotta get them trained. All of that's gonna come under this guy, this is stuff this person could be doing under guidance. So I mean, it's the prime time to get it done now. So otherwise, then if we get it all built, we gotta bring somebody in and train them. I'd rather bring them in and let them help me build it versus being behind the 8 ball. But there's just more work than we can do. Just paperwork.
Yeah,
Just trying to get ready. Because once this thing starts, it's gonna be a tremendous bunch of things to take care of.
Okay,
That's kind of where the software comes in too. As we're building our system, this company builds the software to match what we're doing, so the whole system matches together. It follows the ordinances right down to the letter.
okay, that sounds good.
Can I say something? Yeah.
Just, keep in mind, and I don't mean to put a wrench in anybody's plans, but I really wish that we could wait until the new budget to make any decisions on hiring anybody. Just because I don't believe it's gonna be an easy budget to do. I don't think we're gonna be having extra money. I know this,
So we budgeted money for code enforcement that we haven't
We
used
did
for
this year.
anything is the only
We
reason
did
that I
this
see that, I mean, I'm with you as far as not hiring anyone, but we budgeted money for code enforcement
We
that we
did.
have not utilized at all. And that is constantly, our citizens are constantly talking to us
I
about
could
code
see spending the
enforcement.
money maybe on the system that we need. I just hate to hire somebody that we may not be able to keep.
But
that's-
it's
that's
needed,
y'all's
it's really
decision.
needed.
That's fine, I was just giving you my 2 cents.
But, I mean, Gunny's got more than he can do, he's put all this together, and he's got the
Right.
fact part to do too, so, I don't know what the answer is to this. So, what do you wanna do, guys?
I don't think it'd hurt to put out for bids, by any means.
You mean, for code enforcement, part-time
Yeah, I mean,
code
put out
enforcement?
for,
Applicants.
applicants, yeah,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I mean, there might not be anybody out there that fits what we need for, on a part-time basis.
Well, let me just say, having said what I said about hiring the policeman, I appreciate what Cub has said, what he's presented. This is the way that we should go about discussing these types of issues. This is what I wished we had done with the police advertisement. But Cub, I do appreciate what you and Gunny have done, what you've talked to us about. And to me, I think it's a good idea, and I think we ought to proceed. But I want to thank you for what you're doing.
What kind of time frame will we need to get this computer system? I mean, immediately, or,
He told me it would take at least 2 months to build it, David, from the ground up, so.
and we're paying for the full system while they're building it, and,
Well, I mean, we're gonna pay for it on a yearly basis. We're gonna, whenever we pay in April, the next payment, we'll just have to budget for it'll be less, because it's more on the start, obviously, but the maintenance would be due the year 12 months from there, so we just have to budget for it.
But didn't they say they would work with us on this money situation, this?
I mean, that proposal he gave me is about as good as he's gonna
Okay.
get.
Okay, okay.
We went back to the drawing board on that, and, that's as good as he's gonna get.
What was that, about $5,000?
I think it's probably about 4,800 on the start, and then about 30, seems like it's right at 3,000 a year. I mean, that's complete maintenance on the system. They store the documents, we don't have to worry about storage. It's a turnkey. If we have something with Allison, she's able to log in, see what we're doing. Any of us that are dealing with code enforcement are able to see that stuff. So, I mean, it's pretty much, talked to several different people, talked to people in Mayfield, they're looking at going to a system. It's not the exact same system. There's 2 or 3 people out there that have them. This one just happens to be the most economical for what we need. One of the companies doesn't really, we don't even have enough volume for them to even look at us. They're looking at like Louisville's and Lexington and those type of things. But I feel like it's a good solid system. I mean, it'll be what we need for the next, how many years. And the documents are ours, so, you know, if we decide in 2 years can't afford it anymore, we just stop paying the contract fee, we get all the data belongs to us, we just get it all back.
Okay.
But trying to keep up with this thing on paper is gonna be next to impossible.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that. Well, this is what we've been working toward, this is what the people have asked for, so this is what we need to do. So, let's see. Municipal order 2013-20. To advertise for a part-time code enforcement officer, is that what we need to say? Are we gonna put out any specification or just part-time code enforcement officer?
Computer skills.
Yeah, you got it written up?
I say that's up to code.
Yeah.
Whatever they want.
There, he's got it right here.
High school graduate, moderate computer knowledge, and valid driver's license. Leave it broad and simple, we can, in the interview, you know.
The last time we interviewed, we pretty well asked them some pretty pointed questions throughout the interview, and then we also asked them to perform a computer skill during the interview process, just to make sure they could operate. Had a few that declined to even attempt it, and some tried it. So anyways, you just can't do this job, if you can't type and run a computer, you cannot do it.
No. Okay. I need a motion that we, do an ad for a part-time job, code enforcement officer. Need a motion
So moved.
Second.
by Bill and Martha. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Milliken?
Yes.
Commissioner Prater?
Yes.
Commissioner Bell?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes. Anything from the commissioners? I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of you, I'm sorry.
I've just a letter, from the Twin Cities Youth. I'll read it. It says, "To whom it may concern, the Twin Cities Youth Board would like to take this opportunity to thank the Fulton Park Board for allowing us to use the city park each year for our baseball and softball programs. At this time, we are requesting permission to use the city park baseball and softball fields once again for our 2013 TCY summer programs. At this time, we hope to have approximately 300 youth from our community, ages 4 to 16, to register to participate in our programs. Our tentative practice begins on March the 16th, and the season ends on about June 25th, 2013. Tournaments will follow this date. We would appreciate your consideration in this manner and ask that you contact John Gallimore at 472-9495, Donna Wells, the treasurer, at 479-9682. Again, thank you for your support of our organization. Respectfully submitted, Twin Cities Youth, John Gallimore, President.
That's good. This is just a formality that we kind of go through to allow you to use, but how are the registrations going?
Slow right now, but it always is the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody waits till the last bit to get it
Yeah.
and starts timing up.
right, okay. Do we need to do anything on that? Okay, all right. Okay, I'm afraid to go any further, I'm afraid I'm gonna get bit. Okay. Allison, do you have anything? Huh?
I just want to mention, Mayor, we received an award on the KLC safety grant,
Okay, good.
a little over $4,000, and it'll be a 50-50 match. It's actually for all entities in the city. We'll be buying safety gear with it, safety equipment, and this is something that's a need. We run monthly with the safety committee, and however, it's a good thing from the cities.
Yeah. They have those about every year, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, well, that's good because it does help out. Okay. Me. When are we gonna publish the unpaid taxes? When do we do that?
After July 1.
After July 1, okay. That's a long time. Okay. And don't forget, the governor's gonna be here Monday at 2 p.m. at Plumley Dana Building, whatever. We're gonna have to change the name of that because it's been bought. Want everybody to be sure and come out and let the governor know how much we appreciate it, and jobs coming to Fulton City and Fulton County. Sounds good to me, I don't know about y'all. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, I did have something I'd like to
Okay,
address.
go ahead.
I would like to address you and the commission, and I just wrote something. Ms. Mayor and fellow commissioners, I'd like to express that the city of Fulton is very fortunate to have unbiased media outlets, including the Fulton Leader and www. Fulton KY News. Both of these outlets have provided up-to-date, non-biased media coverage to the Twin Cities for numerous years and hopefully many years to come. I was not in attendance at last week's Fulton Tourism meeting, however, I applaud Patrick Farmer for his videotaping and web posting of the meeting on www. Fulton KY News. Fulton Tourism for many years has been responsible for many annual activities for our residents, with that cost being absorbed from a tax assessed on local hotels, motels, restaurants, etc. Fulton Tourism is a standalone board under the direction of the city of Fulton. However, this has not always been the case. I was extremely disappointed by the actions and lack of professionalism of some of its members, representatives, and other meeting attendees. Sadly, this type of behavior has not been an isolated incident at some of these meetings. I feel that the City Commission should not tolerate this type of behavior from this or any other city board, and these views are solely my opinion and do not necessarily reflect the views of the mayor and or the rest of the City Commission. And thank you, David Prater, City Commissioner. I just was a little upset with Mr. Farmer's posting. I think the way things went at that meeting the other night, and I'd like to address that.
Okay. Anything else? Entertain a motion, we adjourn.
So,
Motion by Jeff.
saying that we want executive session.
No, that's not on here. Nothing on here.